Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys a review for Boruto episode 163. And now that this episode's done in the books, I gotta go ahead and say that I was actually thoroughly interested in what they did as far as showcasing Deepa's abilities. And the reason why is that we got an idea of how powerful this character is, because we know that Omoi didn't pull any punches in that fight. Like, this is pretty damn important to kind of keep in mind, because the fact of the matter is that Omoi is somebody who was not only trained by Killer Bee, but after the 4th Great Ninja War, he was also one of the representatives for the Hidden Cloud Village that took part in the Shinobi Union, which I've done a whole video explaining what the purpose of the Shinobi Union is and why Kakashi created it. But the fact of the matter is that all those reps who were there for the various villages during the Shinobi Union portion, all those characters are considered to be future Kage candidates for the village, and Omoi was one of them. The fact that Omoi was getting pressured by Deepa and Deepa was restrained, I think that that's interesting. I think that's interesting. Again, we're getting an idea of how powerful Deepa is. He's toying around with somebody that was able to hold their own with a legendary swordsman of the Hidden Mist Village, a former member of the Hidden Mist Village's 7 Ninja Swordsman, Amidst Ringo. So I thought that that was impressive. I thought that that was interesting that, you know, Deepa at the bare minimum does kind of scale to at least being higher than Omoi. So I thought that that was interesting right there. I thought it was interesting that this guy toyed with the people on Team Omoi, and how Omoi was at one point freaking out for a second because he thought that he was actually making Deepa fight seriously. Deepa's tanking his attacks, he's taking the team attacks. I like that element that you see there, and I like how as the situation changes, Deepa, his personality's changing as well. So I thought that that was cool. But one flaw that I saw that I definitely think is going to kind of play a part when Team Konohamaru does eventually fight this guy is Deepa's a character who, he's very arrogant. He's very arrogant. He plays around too much. And when you look at what you have with Team Konohamaru, you have a character in Boruto who's unorthodox. You have a character in Mitsuki who can go sage mode in a given moment. You have somebody that has a Sharingan in Sarada who is going to be able to break down this dude's moves. You have Konohamaru, somebody who Naruto and Shikamaru both acknowledge as being a genius in the Hidden Leaf Village. I know the anime's kind of done a bad job of representing that, and like I've kind of covered in some other videos, Konohamaru is held in very high regard by Naruto, and he's acknowledged by the higher ups in the Hidden Leaf Village. I thought it was interesting that you saw this element of, you know, Deepa toying around with Ninja like this, and the fact that Konohamaru was staring at him in the way that he was. I really think that we're going to be getting that fight right there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of play that one out, because Konohamaru, those of you guys who read the manga, you guys already know Konohamaru has a pretty big moment coming. I thought that, you know, this was a good way to potentially start building up for Konohamaru's big moment. So with the overall episode itself though, I gotta go ahead and say, you know, like, I wasn't necessarily turned off by the episode because I thought there was a good enough balance between the actual glimpses of action and the build up towards the confrontation at the end of the episode where the ninja from the Hidden Haze Village ends up showing up. But what I will say is that there were a few moments in this episode where when they start talking about the Hashirama cell and about how any type of movement makes it unstable, on one hand it totally makes sense on why every time we've seen the Hashirama cells before they're implanted into somebody, they've always been in a controlled area. However, on the other side, this also is what happens with a lot of long-running series. Once you get to a certain point, you know, the authors end up getting to a situation where they have to make small tweaks and they have to start adding on to previously established lore. That's one of the things you get with long-running series, because that was no way hinted or implied anywhere in the Naruto manga before this. However, again, Naruto as a franchise has been around for 20 years now, almost 21 years. So it's one of those things where you kind of gotta just roll with it. I wasn't necessarily upset with that, but what I will say is that was a very convenient way of making those ninja from the Haze Village end up having to walk at a snail's pace and give Team Konohamaru the opportunity to catch up. Now, the other thing I definitely liked out of this episode was the fact that, you know, in the aftermath of Lady Sakuya ending up passing away, is that you see the true lawlessness of the Land of Silence. You see all these ninja going through the castle and they're basically pillaging it. So I thought that that was a nice touch right there, because the Land of Silence, there is no loyalty to anybody there. Those are the worst of the worst when it comes to ninjas. So I thought that that was cool to kind of start seeing just regular bandits as well as other characters who might have been ninja kind of put on their heels for a second. And another thing I'll definitely say is that adding in this bit of extra world building by establishing the Hidden Haze Village and having Omoi say that a Hidden Cloud representative was killed off by one of those people, that intrigues me, because when I saw the episode preview and I read some of the spoilers and it said that Omoi was after the Hashirama cell in order to give it to the Hidden Cloud Village, I was worried for a second, because I have a really big video on the Hidden Cloud Village that I had edited probably about 2 months ago that breaks down this major Cold War that stretched over a 20-year period between the Hidden Cloud Village and the Hidden Leaf Village, and it kind of spills over into the Boruto era. A lot of stuff a lot of people aren't aware of, and so I thought that I was going to have to drop that video. I might have to go ahead and do it, but I like how they're kind of continuing the fact that Naruto actually has a pretty good relationship with Darui the Raikage. I thought that was interesting. I thought that for a second they're going to walk that back, so I like that element there, that you actually see the recognition between Konohamaru and Omoi, so I thought that that was cool to kind of see that right there. Now, another thing that I will say is that when it came to Deepa, I thought his scenes were well done in here. I thought, you know, him killing those petty bandits and saying, I'm not interested in things like gold, I thought that was a nice touch. I also thought it was a very nice touch that when you see Deepa in the situation where he's confronting Team Konohamaru, you know, Boruto, once again, his inexperience shows a little bit, because he's looking like, are you really going to take on all 5 of us? Konohamaru, the serious expression on Konohamaru's face in juxtaposition to what you see with Deepa looking like he's thoroughly enjoying the situation with battle. You know, you see how Konohamaru didn't take the guy lightly, because whereas Boruto says, who is this guy to challenge all 5 of us? Konohamaru looks at him and says, he's clearly got to be a capable shinobi if he's gonna stand in front of all 5 of us and start talking like he's gonna kill us all. So I like how, again, you just see the difference in experience between Boruto and people like Konohamaru, Mugino, and Omoi. So I thought that that was cool right there. Another thing I thought was pretty interesting was the fact that you have this moment where Konohamaru has to remind Boruto, like, hey, keep focused. Focus on the mission at hand. The fact of the matter is, we need to focus on getting the Hashirama cell. Little small stuff like that. I like how you're seeing Konohamaru be the sensei to a prodigy. Now, what I will say kind of in closing, because this is a pretty simple episode, is basically a little bit of fan service with the fight, but essentially it was a setup episode to kind of get us to the point where now Deepa's being established as a threat, and we're moving into that situation where after they deal with the Hidden Haze Village and they secure the Hashirama cell, they're probably going to have to fight Deepa. One final thing is that based on the information I've got, this car actuation arc should be lasting, I believe, 13 to 16 episodes. And like I've talked about on Twitter with a few of you guys, I said if this arc runs into October, I'm not going to be surprised at all. And it looks like that's the route that we're going, because this arc started taking place in episode 157, on episode 163. Looks like this arc's going to be going on for a while right here. So that's going to be interesting to see how they kind of connect those dots right there, because it looks like they're definitely trying to stretch this out to the point where we get a Blu-ray disc when it comes to the episodes. We might get a couple of transition episodes and the rest of it be car actuation stuff. So looks like at a bare minimum we're going to be getting 13 episodes on this. We're at episode 163. There's still a few more loose ends to kind of tie up, so my best guess is this arc's probably going to go to episode 167. We're topping out somewhere around 170, 171. That'd be 13, 14 episodes. This is going to be interesting to see how they kind of go from here, how they wrap this up, because Deepa was not in the manga. He's an anime exclusive character, so it'll be interesting to see if he's a threat that's kind of kept out there in the shadows for a little bit before we get to what's the prologue, where Car meets to talk about the vessel going missing and the blimp crashing. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Deepa's character, who actually takes him out. So my episode question to you is, based on what you saw, where do you put Deepa's power in terms of where he needs to rank? Where do you put him? And the other question I have for you guys is, what are you guys' thoughts about this tonal shift that we're starting to see in the Boruto anime? Are you enjoying it so far? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.